Welcome everyone. The topic for the day is creating a culture of inclusions. Remember, in an organizations, people from different walks of life, different stratas of society, a diverse background comes and come together and work towards attaining a singular organizational goal. Yes, in this diversity, we must strive for an inclusion, and that is what we are going to discuss today in this particular topic called creating a culture of inclusion. The agenda out here, what exactly we would like to understand particularly out would be is mentioned to have a better understanding of what exactly is diversity, inclusions, and culture. So we will clearly understand what do I mean by diversity, inclusion, and culture to raise a greater awareness and sensitivity to diversity issues that go well beyond the assumed categories. Remember, assumed categories are when we segregate people based on their caste, creed, color, background, qualification, and so on and so forth, to recommend the proper behavioral tools to foster a much more inclusive workplace, a much more cohesive workplace where people trust each other, where there is a stronger bond of faith among all the employees. That is the agenda in this particular presentation. Let me define diversity in the first place. And if you look into this particular pic, you see people from diverse background, not only from different background, from different cultures, from different ethos and different beliefs. Diversity is a mosaic of people who bring a variety of background, style, perspective, values, and beliefs as an asset to the group and the organization in which they interact. So this is what I have been stating it to you people. It is a mosaic or it is a collation of a picture from different background of people, style, perspective, values, and beliefs. That is what they are going to work in tandem, in coordination with one another to attain the organizational objective, and that is what diversity is to be defined as. Let us tell you about the distinction between EEO is equal employment opportunity, affirmative action, and diversity and inclusion. Remember, EEO or equal employment opportunities enforces the statutes to prevent employment discrimination, again based on different kind of segregation that we might ascribe people to be categorized into. The affirmative action is the effort to put which has been put in to bring in a parity in the workforce through outreach and eliminating barriers in hiring. That is what is an affirmative action. Then we come across diversity and inclusion, leveraging differences in the workforce to achieve a better result. Yes, that is what we are looking forward to. The diversity is where we manages the pros and cons of each and every individual so as to make a level playing field and achieve a better coordination and synergy while working together. That is what is a diversity and inclusion is all about it. I am sure that most of you have understood equal employment opportunity, affirmative actions, and diversity and inclusions. Remember the primary dimensions, the secondary dimensions are being mentioned out here. This is the primary dimension. It determines basically age, gender, sexual orientation, disability, ethnic heritage, and race. And then, if this is the core to an individual, what is the secondary dimension? This is based on the geographical location, military experiences, work experiences, socio-economic status, the religion, the first language, the organizational role and level, communication style, family status, the work, the thinking process thereby, and that is what we are going to include everything out here. This is what we are talking about, the background in terms of education. Respectively, remember what is an integral part of an individual is the primary dimension that includes age, gender, orientation of a person, disability, ethnic heritage, and race, wherein the rest of it is all secondary dimension in which you are interacting with your with the environment, the exposure that you get. Let's say in a geographical location, if you have been living in a mountainous region, or for that matter in the plain region or near seashore, seaside, you will have different kind of exposure. Now, people might call me, how does it differ? It differs in the way that you inculcate your food habits. Probably people at the seaside will be fond of fish because fish isn't plentiful, whereas people in the mountainous region might not be that fond, or might not be, the fish might not find that much of a prominence in their palate. So that is what we are trying to talk to you. You name it: military exposures, work exposures, socioeconomic status, the religion, the faith that you believe in, the language that you speak, the first language, the secondary language, your level in the organization, the style of communication that you are accustomed to, the family status, the work, thinking, and so on and so forth comes around it. Yes, remember the communication has to be filtered, and filtered the way you have been brought up in the cultural prism, through a cultural prism. We need to understand everything out here, and this is what we have been talking out in my previous slide and in this particular slide. Akin to it, as you age, your thought process changes. The way the person belonging to different countries will have different orientations, as far as power distance, as far as interpersonal skills, as far as the habit that has been maintained around the race, the heredity, the DNA that we belong to, the sexual orientation that we keep a preference for or have an affinity for, the religion that the faith that we practice around, disability, gender, education, you name it and we have it. It is in your personality, it is in your custom. Now, these are all the cultural perspective. Did I speak about geographical location? Yes. The functional discipline, people in a workshop floor area in the production would be speaking a different lingua franca when when you compare it with the people who are working in the army or your forces. The language you use, the values, the communication style, the work style, the learning style, economic status, family situation, military experience, philosophical perspective, you name it and we have it. This is how we go about it. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true that all your communication is being filtered through cultural perspective, thereby a new metaphor for culture is the melting point. The theory of the society has been evolved. Instead, create a vegetable soup metaphor. You can easily, remember, you can easily identify and taste the unique flavor of the individual part of the soup that comes around it. Members of various cultural groups may not want to be assimilated. They want their taste, look, textures to remain as complete and as intact as it is used to be. To reap the business benefit of diversity, you must always employ inclusive work strategies. This is what we are looking forward to. That is what the new metaphor for cultures is around it. Remember, an organization should absolutely mimic the society in particular and in general. It should have people from diverse background, and then only you can understand the perspectives of the society. That is the reason why we should have that in practice cultures of inclusions. We should be creating every possible opportunity for for creating inclusivity in the organization. Yes, the goals for inclusions are making the full use of the unique skill set of each employee. Remember the food for thought that I want to bring it to your notice, to to the audiences of this particular video. You need to bring your full self, the full complete attributes, the complete characteristics of a person should be brought to the work. It is in the form of ideas, it is in the form of opinions, it is in the form of upbringing and background, because they are what going to decide your personality and your uniqueness, how different or similar that you are from other people or person. So it is the diversity and inclusion goals, having or utilizing every skill set that an employee possesses. Yes, that is what is true, is all about it. Remember, the benefits of inclusivity is of immense nature. It improves understanding of those who you work for, who are or who work with you and around you, creates a work environment that allows everyone to reach their full potential, provides multiple perspective on problem solving. Remember, better performances outcome is what we are looking at. Increases employee productivity, increase retention of rates, boost employee morale, improve customer relations, reduce complaints and grievances, and always remember the cultures of inclusivity is the right thing to do. Remember when I said that the organization should mimic the society, because it helps us understanding the perspective. It helps us in attaining the problem solving skill. It helps us in improvising on our performance outcomes, and probably it impacts productivity in a positive fashion. That is the very reason, that is the very crux as why inclusivity should be brought in every organization. Business and economic imperatives, workforce are racial in nature. Mostly, if it is a gender diversity, remember they are positively associated with high performance outcome measures, more effective group process, and higher productivity. That is what we are looking forward to. That is exactly what we deeming to ourselves together. This is the reason that workforce, racial, and diversity should be positively associated with. It improves the image, it improves the productivity, it becomes much more impactful, and people generally identifies and sides with the organization, which is of immense value to the organization in the long run. So, organization inclusion. Now, what are the practices that needs to be taken care of? We are talking about equity of practices, extent to which organization provides fair and equitable treatment to each of its employees and its group. The organization culture, the extent to which the culture avoid assimilation strategies and is very open to the learning from different and non-traditional sources, voice and participation, extent to which organization draws up diverse source of knowledge and experiences for planning and operation. Yes, that is what we are looking towards, toward thing. So we are talking about the equity of practices, building up a vibrant and inclusive organization culture. Most importantly, this will ensure that there is a voice to every employee and the participations in the decision making process. If not in the making process of the decision, at least in the implementation processes, improves by leaps and bounds, and it becomes a complete a force measure by in itself. So let us talk in the very last slide about what exactly are the takeaways of this presentation. Remember, workforce diversity enhances performance, it increases productivity, and the productivity goes smoothly, production goes smoothly without any hiccups and hindrances. To be effective, diversity management must be strategically implemented and aligned with the business goal. Yes, very true. As I've said it again, it requires investment, it requires attention, and this investment and attention will make inclusivity of diverse background people much more effective. And remember, effective when I say in the longest of the all run of the organization, it becomes much more efficient and profitable. Intolerance and insensitivity to diversity breeds disastrous and costly results. People shun the organization, people avoid the products. Marketing and sales promotions becomes much more difficult. Agencies therefore must employ behaviors and guarantee an equal employment opportunity rights, and ensure that everybody is treated in equity and equally in front of their demands. Diversity principles must be incorporated in an organization of performing culture, which includes the 6 point that I want to stress before signing it off in this particular presentation. It's one and the foremost thing is the leadership communication. Then comes the recruitment and the retention strategies, the reward and the incentive system, the group work process, the succession planning, and then last but never the least, the overall strategic planning, as the case might be. Remember, inclusivity and diversity goes hand in hand. It reaps much more benefit than anyone can ever perceive. With this, I wind up this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.